All right, 1 second, because I always use the.
Do this.
There we go. We're live.
Today, we have a story of love and revenge, of hope and loss, of heroism and betrayal, for these are the ethereal stuff of which stories are made. Today is a special day as we are returning to a previous level of Undermountain, sort of. For those of you who watched the obstacle course level some weeks ago, there were some unresolved story threads that we intend to pull on today, and thus this is a special one-shot with some returning characters, which we'll introduce the characters in a moment. But before we begin, perhaps we can introduce ourselves. I am Kyle, also known as Techno Scald. I use he, him pronouns, and I will be both your mad mage and your dungeon master today. Let's then go. Emma, would you like to introduce yourself?
Well, sure. Hello, I am Emma, and I use she, her pronouns. And you can find me at Twitter at MKHansen. But today I will be returning as Trixie, the gnome cleric flower child, who also uses she, her pronouns.
Very good. And Adam.
All right, yeah, my name's Adam, although you may know me as Peter Voss, the pun bard from Twitter. I have recently actually just completed a pun bard subclass, so if you're rolling up a character this weekend, do try it. I will be playing A2B, the Warforged Juggernaut Ranger, tonight. So,
Indeed. And Val.
Hi, I'm Val. I am known as the Nerdy Niffler on Twitter, and I'm returning as Theola, the flame-obsessed Philbog druid. It makes perfect sense.
And you and Theola both use the same pronouns, correct?
Yes, both Theola and I use she, her pronouns.
All right. And our beloved Matt Foreman, could you introduce yourself?
Hey, that's me. I'm Matthew Foreman. I am Matthew W. Foreman on Twitter. I use he, him pronouns. And I am playing today. I am... 1 second. I've been having trouble with accents lately. I don't know why.
Because today on this channel is Variant Matt's. Is that why?
That's right. I'll be playing Perkins. He is a lore bard who worships demons. Oops.
And it is important to note for those who may have watched, Matt previously played Crawford, the Shadow Sorcerer, who is the reason that we're doing all of this today.
Crawford got eaten.
He got eaten by a vampire that he taunted right off of Theola. What are you going to do? I may have had to go back and watch some video to study Matt's voices, which I can't do all of his voices. Matt's so great. But When we last left our group, we were in Undermountain in level 15, which is known as the obstacle course. And there were two major events that are going to drive how we pick up today. First of all, as previously noted, Crawford Gastover, as I recall, which
Yeah.
is not a foreboding name at all,
Yeah,
was
Crawford Gastover.
killed by a vampire known as Lightdrinker while Fiola. This sounds wrong. While Fiola was fleeing, he did it. He sacrificed himself so that at least one of them could get away. And as he said, this was always going to happen. And Fiola is noted as a Firbolg druid, so she took that affront, I believe, very personally. Is that right, Theola?
Super personally. Super personally.
It may have reminded her of some previous events in her life.
Just some lovely, lovely reminder of some deep personal trauma.
That's the good kind. And also, A2B, as previously noted, the Warforged, had given his life protecting Trixie from an onslaught of lava children. For those who don't know, lava children look like adult-sized human children that wear diapers and suspenders. They all look alike. They all have flaming red hair, and they all speak in the same voice together. Come play with us, Trixie. Trixie, come play. Because they wanted her to go playing cannonball into the lava with them. They weren't taking no for an answer, and so Crawford gave himself up to protect her, to shut an ancient dwarven vault door so that, yes, A2B, so that she would get away safely. He was trying to protect them both, but at some point that became impossible.
I forgot to mention A2B's pronouns, they, them. Sorry.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me, and please correct me. Feel free to interrupt me and correct me. I'll do my best. And so as we wound down the previous excursion, there was additionally for a short time a goblin warlock known as Nines, I believe, who assisted and has now left to return back to his, let's say, archaeological interests.
Yeah,
which is mostly that the player has more important. This is a holiday weekend in our plane, and family things are much more important. So, we find the three of you, Perkins, Theola, and Trixie. You have recently escaped the level of Undermountain, made your way down. Now that you have caught your breath, perhaps taken a short rest, it occurs to you that A2B is still back up there, back where he was, holding off the lava children. And Trixie, I believe that you have some thoughts and feelings about that. Is that correct?
I have a lot of feelings all the time, but yeah, I had some feelings about that.
Yes. Are you planning to go see if you can in some way reactivate the Warforged?
Yes, my goal was to sneak off when I felt a lot of guilt there, so I tried to sneak off so that no one would notice me during like a rest, to go back to see if I can figure out how to reactivate them.
Theola, do you think that, or Perkins, that Trixie gets away without your notice?
Oh, well, I don't have the best passive insight. So, yeah, passive perception. So she gets away from me scot-free.
Checking my passive perception.
And and if it wasn't an extent, it's a long rest?
You tell me.
Well, if we were, like, camping out, I would probably have gotten drunk. Oh.
Fair.
No.
I've got a passive perception of 19, so if I don't notice Trixie's gone, I'm going in after her.
So why don't we do this? because I feel like at this point, considering your bond with Trixie, you're probably paying much closer attention to her than just passive. We'll treat your passive as the floor. So if Trixie could give me a stealth roll, first of all.
Okay.
She's trying to sneak away.
I probably would use.
Passive
I would. Oh, do I have that? Oh.
Why? Why, Perkins?
Chaos.
Blessing of the Trickster on me. Actually, I wasn't gonna do passive that.
Oh, okay.
Which, thank goodness. Just kidding. Nope. She probably is totally gonna see that I. Yep, that's a 6.
That's a 6 on your stealth roll?
Sure is. Yep.
Okay, no,
absolutely.
both of them notice that you have they wake up, they see little flower petals fluttering in the air behind you as you disappear around a corner. Thiola, you've just kind of semi-awoken and realized that Trixie just left. I mean, 10 seconds ago, but she wasn't nearly as unobservable as she had hoped to be. What do you do, Thiola?
So I've just noticed her leaving. I'm getting up and going after her.
Yes, you're deep in these caverns, right? You are literally under a mountain. So you go out, and Perkins observes this as well. Perkins, do you stay at the camp by yourself, or do you go after your 2 companions?
Where Rakdos' name are y'all running off to? I'm gonna just kind of roll after them.
All right,
because I'm pretty drunk.
So Thiola, being this long-limbed druid with her stride, probably catches up pretty quickly, I think, to Trixie, who is apparently rushing up, I should say, a ramp in a cavern back to the level from which you came. Thiola and Trixie, what do you do when you see each other? Flower princesses.
You don't have to. You shouldn't. You don't have to come with me. You should stay and rest.
The urge to use my Mary Poppins over-the-top voice is so real.
You use whatever voice you think that you will enjoy making.
Listen, Trixie.
Listen, my mans.
Listen, my mans. You're going after my best friend there.
I know. I'm the reason that they're there. I have to go fix this.
And I'm the reason that Crawford died. So we have to go fix things together because otherwise other people are going to die. And I will not let any other people die because you are my family.
I'm going to reach my little hand up to take her hand.
I'm going to reach down.
I'm going to take you and then I'm going to just sort of start running and dragging you behind me. Although you're probably going to catch up and go ahead.
Yeah, I imagine it's like, I imagine Trixie's little gnome legs going like a mile a minute, and Thiola.
She's walking.
It's like when I walk my toddler, and she thinks she's going as fast as she can, and I'm like, yeah. Adam knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. Perkins, you're bringing up the rear. How are you? Are you stumbling after them? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm waddling my way over there.
I'm throwing glances back, but I'm like, when Trixie's like going as fast as you can, I'm like, you're doing great. We're making awesome time.
Why are you all so emotional? Yeah.
We've had a rough time of it lately.
Some stuff has gone down, okay?
All right.
I will tell you all about it when we're safe again, but for now, safe salutations and tatty bye-bye.
Well, I'm coming with you, so it's not really appropriate to tell me goodbye. I'm following you.
You're not our supervisor!
So as you make your way back up this ramp and you follow yourself, the dungeon is much quieter now that you have slain the beholder that once lay at its core, and you have driven off some of the other denizens, you now have learned how to avoid and where to avoid some of the special magical teleport traps that may have caused you some difficulty last times.
Those still haunt my dreams. I just want you to know I can still say, teleport.
Teleport!
Oh no.
That's right.
So instead, you find yourself outside the vault door where A2B's inactive, shut down chassis, let's say. I don't. It's not body exactly. It is body, but you know, the chassis remains. The vault door itself is completely sealed. You can see where it was able to be welded, and you don't hear too much noise on the other side, indicating the lava children are either not really there or not particularly active right now. But his eyes are dark. There's no you hear no internal movement of gears or any sort of energy source moving or anything like that. And there doesn't seem necessarily to be an obvious way to, let's say, reactivate him. So we're going to move to an old mechanic that is going to, that I've brought over. It's pretty easy to do. We're over to 5e, and we're going to have a skill challenge to try to reactivate him. So here's how this is going to work. It's going to be straightforward. With each of you, so basically you need to have 3 successes before you have 3 failures. You can attempt whatever you think will make sense. Describe what you're trying to do and how you're trying to do it. We'll pick a skill that makes sense. The only restriction being that you can't use the same skill twice, right? You can't all just do the same thing. And as long as you can get 3 successes before you get 3 failures, then everything will go well. If you get 3 failures first, then there are backup plans. We're not going to kick Adam out of the group. He's here. It's more a question. This is really a question of how, not whether. But because you are high-level characters, you are not, level 2 newbies. The DC for this is, I'll set at a moderate level of 15. So you see this inert Warforged there, kind of. I imagine him kind of squat down, like compressed almost, with his arms hanging down to the floor. You have reached him. Maybe Perkins is a few minutes behind you, he doesn't seem like he's trying to move exactly at Trixie's pace, which is fair. So Trixie and Theola, as you reach this chassis, what do you do? How do you try to reactivate him?
God, I really want to say whack it with my staff and see if that works.
It worked the first time.
It worked when I tried to wake him up the first time, and he was shut down for a while. I just whack it with my staff.
Okay, give me an attack roll.
Oh God.
I mean, you're not trying to kill him, so this is not going to damage him.
So that's one.
I mean, maybe if you crit, that would be pretty funny to leave a dent, but we'll see.
There's a dent. It's like
16.
16? That beats the, yeah.
Yay!
I mean, he's inert, so he's not like dodging and things like that. So,
Cool.
As you give him a whack, it's kind of like when some piece of electronics isn't quite working and you can feel or hear just a little bit of internal movement, like there was something that almost got started but not quite inside, and we're going to count that as a success. And you feel like, you know what, there's still something in there. He's not completely gone. Maybe there's something that can happen. What do the other 2 of you do?
So I'm gonna go up and kind of look him over. Could I do a medicine check on him to see if I could determine anything?
Yeah, I think while Warforged are a little bit different, I think that the way the rules are pretty loosey-goosey about Warforged being almost like organics, but not quite, almost
Right.
like humanoid. So yeah, make a medicine check and describe kind of what you're doing as you're looking them over.
I'm as I'm sort of like searching through them, I'm trying to see if I can see any gosh, I don't know. Any sort of like places where it might now you can't really like charge a Warforged, can you? I don't know anything about Warforged. So I guess like kind
So
of just
yeah, so maybe that's what the medicine check is for, is to see what Trixie knows about.
yeah, I'm kind of like trying to see like how to understand how it all works, I guess.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Oh.
How do you inspire her though?
You're talking about medicine checks? Oh boy.
I don't know what's happening. Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
dang.
God. Yeah.
Oh!
There's a spring in ATB that just sort of goes twang.
Yeah, what's your medicine
so
check with your?
should I guess I should use my do I need to? Can I hold on to it?
That's your choice.
Okay, how long would I have it for? I mean, okay, cool. Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I'll hold on to it. This is a 23.
Oh yeah. So as you are looking at him, you're a gnome. What kind of a gnome are you?
Forest.
Forest gnomes. Okay, so forest gnomes are more known for trickery and connection to the animals, but you spent some time around some rock gnomes probably at some point in your adventures, and you are an experienced adventurer. You are not someone who's only ever sit at home and played
Oh
with
no,
the
I'm an
squirrels.
anthropologist, so
Right.
I've
So what you know of them is that they have these internal energy banks, right, that can be overloaded and maybe emptied in that way, like brought inert, but that doesn't mean that they can't be recharged. And in fact, they the only trick is whether or not sort of the positronic brain, if you will, has lost all of its charge as well. So you feel like if you can get those energy banks restarted in some way, then you might be able to get this going again. Perkins, what do you do?
sorry, yeah. Yes, I relay any information like as I'm searching over him, I'm relaying all of that. I think so. Oh dear, maybe.
Oh no.
Oh.
Roll me an Arcana check. Yeah, as soon as you said that, I was like, maybe he needs that. So, as the burning hands, as the flame shoots out from your fingers and begins to swirl around the Warforged, something in the vault door circuitry, if you will, kind of is triggered by that, and you start to see a swirl of electromagnetic energy start to swirl around the Warforged and penetrate into the chassis, and you can hear a whirring sound as relays click back into place, as energy banks start to come back up.
I fixed myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Turned off your audio and had everybody else's on.
Yeah. Sorry, there's a party going on outside. I didn't want the my audio to interfere with the stream.
We couldn't even hear it at all.
Okay, then I'll just leave it
You're
at
fine. Don't worry
good.
about it,
Okay,
buddy.
good.
And at that moment, something restarts in A2B, and for him, no time has passed.
I'm a miracle worker.
The moment he shut down saving Trixie, he just comes back on. A2B, what do you do?
A2B, it takes a little while for their mental. It's they them.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
It takes a while for their circuitry to sort of get back up to speed, but when it does, the first words out of their mouth are, "And I'm scared." And then they stop and they look at both Theola and Trixie. And in a very un-Warforged way, they just reach forward with these gigantic arms, gather them both up into the hug, lifting them off the floor. And I'd like to waste a spell slot if that's okay, because
Absolutely.
And because I leveled up, I took a new spell, which I think is really good for this. Out of their chest, there's sort of a little flicker, another flicker, and I cast. Let me see where that is. Okay, I cast Daylight, and all of a sudden, out from going forward, out from A2B's chest is this burst of radiant light that just, and it's not harsh light, it's just like that soft kind of light you'd expect to see in like an iconic.
Did you just do a Care Bear stare? Are you Sunshine Bear now?
That's right.
I did. And they just hug you.
No, don't let your makeup run.
Huh?
It's fine. We're doing great.
They just hug both of them, both Trixie and Theola for a moment, and then say, "I'm so glad you're all right," and then sets you both down.
Yeah, I'm doing fine too, and I just kind of saved your life. Hi, I'm Perkins.
Perkins?
Yeah, that's my name. Perkins Brightfollow.
I look down to both Trixie and Theola. Crawford?
Oh, hey, there's something over there, and I walk away. Fuck me, what did I wander into?
Oh. Okay, so Crawford is gone. As in gone. And he's
dead.
Thank you, Perkins.
You're welcome. I'll be here all day.
And that is Perkins. We have collected him. I think we're responsible for him now. I think the daycare left him here or something. But
it's a cult, but yeah.
Same thing.
A2's the light, as soon as you mention this, the light sort of flickers for a moment and then just fades to a very, very dull light and then nods. Boop, boop, boop.
I just like put one hand on the side of his face, like, you really scared me.
I'm sorry.
Just promise you'll be okay. You did good. You did so good. And I'm so proud of you, but you scared the crap out of me. So you just have to promise you'll always be okay. And I know you can't promise that, but please promise that, buddy.
I promise. And then
Start shoveling cookies in her mouth again.
I'm gonna give him a hug and just whisper so the others don't hear, like, I love you, buddy.
I love you too, Theola.
Never tell anyone I have emotions, and then I go back out.
So, Theola, it occurs to you that based on what you've seen of this level, where the unfortunate incident with Zorlak Lightdrinker occurred, and what you've learned of Undermountain in general, that the vampire must have either gone back or gone down, but you didn't see him, or returned back up to Skullport, the one settlement here within Undermountain.
I relay all of this to everybody. And like, so what do we think? Up or down?
Well, I think Skullport is up.
Gotta go.
The one.
Let's find it.
We're gonna
And let's
find
go
it, we're
mess
gonna
it
kill
up. Yeah, we're gonna straight up murder it.
I mean, I'm all for it. I'm always spoiling for a fight. This vampire seems like a prick.
He
He's
is
not great.
no, he is, as you would describe him, a prick.
So,
H-
oh sorry. So this Crawford, did you known him for years?
No.
Yeah, we knew him for years. We went to school together. We had a boarding school situation. We used to just light shit on fire all the time. It was we deep friends for many years.
You like
Just walk off.
you like
It's the Goner Academy.
the Goner Academy. Yeah, I like lighting stuff on fire too. Do you want to be friends?
I like turn back around to him, pick him up, and hug him and say, "We're best friends now." It's like put him on my shoulder.
Yeah, perfect. I don't like to walk.
I sense this about you.
God.
All right, so I guess they're heading up. I'm gonna crawl up on A2's shoulders, and I'm gonna just sort of rest my little head on their head.
And A2 takes the lead because they definitely feel like they've let everybody down by not being with.
No!
You did.
I
imagine Perkins just saying that,
Oh yeah.
you let everyone down. I just imagine that in my head.
he just crawls over to his ear and says, "You let everyone down."
Correct.
And it
Perkins
shuts
is-
down again. And then doesn't restart ever.
He just does a factory reset.
Oh, Perkins. Wow. Okay.
I love Perkins.
Very well. It takes you a day or two, during which time you obviously get your long rests.
Okay.
So you make your way back to Skullport. By the way, if you haven't already, please make sure that you are leveled to level 14.
I was born at level 14.
Oh.
Well then.
He's not wrong.
And you find yourselves in Skullport.
I look.
Skullport is, to borrow a term, a wretched hive of scum and villainy. It is, in fact, sort of a cutthroat outpost. As I said, the one civilization settlement, the one civilized settlement within Undermountain. Well, the Drow have their outposts and so forth, but this is the one place where kind of everyone is allowed to come. Some of you came here perhaps by way of the adventures that wrapped up Dragon Heist. Some of you have just come here of your own initiative, but effectively Skullport fills this huge cavern. There's an island called, appropriately, Skull Island, around which flows a river, the River Sargauth, that flows down into the Underdark. And the town itself has quite a few establishments of every sort. There are inns and taverns, there are markets, there are a number, there's an open marketplace. There are a number of other merchants of various sorts who engage in all sorts of things. There's a map shop, a pet store, a pawn shop, river salvagers, a jewel dealer, a restaurant, all sorts of things. As you reach there, what do you do?
There's a map shop?
I just like imagine him saying this like really loudly and
Yeah.
they're like, "There's a map shop." I'm
Yeah.
like,
That's,
okay.
that's great. I'm gonna go burn it down.
Do you want some help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna start wandering out towards the map shop.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I would just gonna quickly cast. I'm gonna like 10-day 2. It's like the last time we were here, they had trouble understanding my Filborg dulcet tones. So, I'm just gonna get used to the common tongue. Okay, let's burn that shit down.
A2 follows after Thiola, but it takes out one of those little tiny arrows that they have and sort of snaps it and looks over at Thiola. I need something better.
You're gonna need a bigger arrow.
Yes. So are all of you going to the map shop together?
To burn it down.
I was hoping someone, out of character, I was hoping someone would stop me.
So
yeah, I mean, I'm like, no, we're not gonna. I don't think we're not gonna do that.
Oh.
No.
So this isn't going to be a map quest.
So I'm mostly just asking if y'all aren't splitting your party.
Oh.
I don't think that's wise.
The last time that happened, one of us died.
And one of us shut down. So.
I will waste a vampire if they come at me. I will destroy him.
Good. Hold on to that, buddy.
So as you reach this, there's a sign above the shop. You follow some directions. And the sign says, "The Sword and Sextant." And as you enter the little shop, ding, 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 you see a pair of Strongheart halflings there behind the counter. One has his nose deep in some scrolls, and the other appears to be reviewing some sort of ledger or similar. And they look up and they greet you. "Hi! Welcome to the Sword and Sextant. Are you coming to buy or sell?"
Oh, we're gonna get along just fine.
What the kind of accent is that? For a self-respecting halfling.
"Listen, buddy. We're just here trying to make a living.
Where are you from?
And I'm Oleander.
Oh,
And we would appreciate being treated with respect at our own shop."
it's getting worse. Where are y'all from? It's a Monty Python sketch.
We're gonna bring in a parrot. It's gonna be like, "This is an ex-Perkins."
Crawford is dead.
From deep in the... Don't worry about where we're from. Are you here to buy a map or are you here to sell us a map?
Well, we're here to find something. So, maps help with finding things.
Maps are great for finding things.
I saw that on the play Dora the Explorer. Map.
Oh, I know that one. If there's a place you gotta get, I can help you there, I bet. I'm the map.
I think we're doing this in the wrong
It's
order.
like a little advertising jingle. It's very popular in our field.
I think we're doing this in the wrong order because we don't know where we need to go yet.
I look over at Thiola and I say, they remind me of my cousin, Garmin.
That's why we don't visit him.
Oh, Garmin is very monotone. I think I've met your cousin before.
We all know each other in the town of Skullport.
Yeah. So you said you don't know where you want to go, which we can't help you with that, or you don't know how to get there because we can totally help you with that.
Well, we gotta find out where what's his face went. Zordon.
I go over to the halflings and I ask, do you know of any places nearby a vampire might go to hide?
A vampire?
A2 is not very subtle.
Oh, going right for it.
Well, it's funny. A few days ago, there were all these swarms of bats here in Skullport, unusually high numbers, and we didn't know what to make of it. But now that you mention it, I guess that could have been it.
There's this low growl.
Okay, though, as long as one of those bats didn't look like a really, really old dude, we're fine. Because one of them might have been Crawford.
Your friend is a vampire?
Pretty much. The aesthetic was pretty much it.
It's complicated.
Also, he might be now. We're dealing with trauma.
That should be on a t-shirt.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, I can tell you, I don't know where the bats were going exactly, but there are people here who know things. I don't want to say too much.
Why? Say more. Say enough. Say what you need to say.
Listen, we're just a very simple... The other one holds up. Yes, we're very simple. We're just trying to make a living. We don't want any trouble, you understand.
A2 just leans down over them, like bending at the waist, just getting closer and closer. Please, tell us.
Give me an intimidation check.
Can I use this with strength? Because I think...
I think he's got a very imposing physical presence. This isn't really about his presence so much as he's like 3 times their size and made of metal. So yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Don't fail me now. I might have... Okay, that's an 8 plus my strength mod. Plus 5. So that's...
13.
13.
Okay, listen. We didn't tell you this. Do you understand? We didn't tell you anything. There's a place here in Skullport known as the Poisoned Quill. Have you heard of it?
No.
The proprietor there, she's known for 2 things. One is, if there's a document that you need, but you don't have, not a map, because you would come to us for that, but for any other kind of document that maybe, or you have it and it doesn't say exactly what you want it to say, she can help you out, if you know what I'm saying.
My God, she's an editor.
Oh God, no!
Forged
Definitely
after all.
does editing of a sort. Also, I don't know if you know much. Have you spent much time in Undermountain?
Feels like months.
Yeah,
2 days.
Down here. No, what you have to understand is it's very weird, and there's this old wizard that everybody knows about, but we don't see him very often. He wears a black cloak that's got all these weird eyes on it. Sometimes he comes through town, and when he does, he seems to spend some extra time over at the Poisoned Quill. I think that Taz Hasselgren, that's the name of the lady who runs it. I think, they're kind of friends.
All right.
So she knows a little bit of everything. So if there's something that's going on that I don't know anything about, she's the one.
I think that's where we need to go.
Where is it?
What was that?
Where is it? Where's it located?
Oh, it's just around the corner. You just go down and you're going to see.
Okay, thank you. Bye. Trixie's
Yeah,
gone.
we're walking out.
Can we make a quick stop by a weapons shop?
Yeah, we don't have to roleplay that whole thing. If there's regular equipment that you want to get, it is available here in Skullport for 5 times the listed price.
Can we buy health potions? I sense
You
we
can
will
buy
need
health potions at 5 times the listed price.
Can I steal a map?
Can I assist him?
You're gonna steal a yes. Give me a dexterity sleight of hand check.
I'm big, so I just move in the way.
I'm going to use peerless skill.
Okay, and you get advantage because of her moving in the way, helping you out.
All right. 29.
You have a map in your possession.
And I skitter away.
Yeah, everyone has a nice. Just a little
You-
fist bump.
As you make your way out,
Oh.
Uh-oh.
there is a what looks like a very tall cat standing there. He's wearing sort of a white tunic and white pants, and he's got a large book strapped to his belt. And he kind of observes you, looks at you oddly, almost like he thinks he might recognize you, but he probably doesn't. And you can make your way to the Poisoned Quill.
All right, poison quill it is.
As you go now, this place is not nearly as open and friendly and so forth as the Sword and Sextant. The Poisoned Quill is a mostly just an office as you go in. There's kind of a front reception area, and as you're there, kind of coming in, for a moment, you see two almost like glowing or reflective little eyes peering out from under the desk, and then you hear a skittering sound as something scurries back into the wall. And after a minute, an elderly woman comes out. She's older, probably late 60s, maybe in her 70s. But despite that, it still has she's got a straight back and a noble bearing. Clearly still takes care of herself, and takes care of her appearance, and comes out and, yes, is there something with which I may assist you?
Looking for a vampire, straight up. I could have done that a persuasive way, but we're just looking for a vampire.
All right.
She doesn't even blink at that. Will any vampire do? Or do
No.
you seek a particular one?
We
There
are
is a
looking.
specific.
What's his name? What is his... Yep.
Lightdrinker, something like that.
Oh, yes. Give me a general charisma check as a group. Everybody just roll charisma.
Loads of it. Oh, I do not.
Spades of charisma.
That's an 8 for me.
That is an 8 for me as well.
This is going well. Better.
Got a natural 20.
Yes.
Right. And what's your modifier?
My modifier, it's +1.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
Very well. In fact, I do know this Lightdrinker, is there something that I can help you with? Do you need some sort of document?
No,
Can-
do we?
Oh. Uh, if I say, could you arrange to have him meet you, and perhaps we could be somewhere close by?
That would be difficult, as he is not currently in Skullport, to the best of my knowledge.
Oh, where is he according to your knowledge?
Give me a persuasion check, you specifically.
That I can do. 30.
Wow.
Holy.
Oh.
She leans forward. Information such as that carries a bit of a price.
I've got deep pockets.
How deep?
Demonically deep.
I'm listening.
What do you want? You're not interested in coin. That's too simple, isn't it?
Everyone's always interested in coin. However, there is... My business works on two levels. You must understand. There are those who need alterations, editing of a sort done. Perhaps the wrong name is on a document, perhaps the wrong date, perhaps it lacks the signature that they require. And at this, I am skilled. However, I also make a tidy living from visitors needing to leave Skullport in a hurry. You seem like you are interested in the whereabouts of someone who needed to leave Skullport in a hurry.
Yes.
But of course, the privacy of my clients is paramount, or people might not be willing to come to me for this sort of assistance.
Understood.
And therefore, were I to participate in sharing this sort of information, well, certainly I would need to be made whole for the possible loss of future revenues.
All right. I don't know how much gold I was given when I started this damn adventure, but
I have my gold listed in my equipment. I can spend a pretty penny.
We'll also throw in a free map.
that's right. I pull out my map.
Give me a D10 roll.
6.
She looks at it. She looks back at you and shakes her head. Not useful. Not only have I been there, perhaps we might say that I have certain personal connections here in Undermountain. Maps within this place are of little use to me.
Okay.
But normally, I charge 50 gold per person who wishes to leave in a hurry and is in a circumstance with which I can assist them. There are many such people who find their way to Skullport, and if they were to stop visiting me, well, you can see where that could be a lot of gold that I could stand to lose.
Right. We are of the utmost discretion.
And she looks straight at Theola. Yes, that clearly is a quality that everyone in your group shares.
What are you looking at me for? I'm the most secretest keeper in the entire world. Don't worry about it.
There's like this cough noise, like from Wall-E, coming from A2.
I practice discretion above all else.
Give me a deception roll, Fiola.
My strongest ability. Wait, that actually might work. 17.
Let me see. Let me pull up my black dice from Diablo.
Oh no.
Oh, we're gonna die.
We're gonna die.
Yes, you do seem quite discreet. I don't believe anyone has followed you here. Although she looks outside and she sees that strange tabaxi kind of walking past.
It's fine.
That's Doug. He's fine.
You said it's Doug?
That's Doug. He's our butler. He just likes to be involved, you know.
She looks at you and she shakes her head and she says, "You should have stopped while you were ahead."
I hear that a lot.
Very well. For 250 per person, not only can I tell you where this vampire went, I can send you there myself.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Now, you mean will you send us like right into his lair?
I could not tell you the layout of the locale. What I can tell you is that I can cast, through an arrangement with a special friend, I and I alone can cast a certain spell that will teleport you to a location for which I know the runes. I do not know what surrounds those runes.
Okay, well, we've had some trouble with teleportation in the past, so I'm a little wary of that. So make it 200 each.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Oh, that's my best stat. That's a 5.
I'm very sorry. You understand that this is my livelihood.
Yeah.
A2. Okay, so if I'm reading this correct, it's 1,000 gold for us to be sent there. Okay. A2 just gets like a little bag out of one of their pockets, or I assume they have pockets, and opens.
And you've got like a backpack anyway, so
yeah. But they have like so sort of like internal piggy bank, and they hold it next to a slot. They press a button, and BB-8 style, just coins just start flying out. And
it's like somebody hitting the jackpot slot machine.
Yeah. And there's like a 1,000 gold, and they hold it out and just send us.
She looks at it, quickly looks around, and with one sweep of her bony old hands, sweeps them into a leather pouch. Very well. Follow me, if you would, valiant adventurers.
Such a straight talker.
I'm gonna take some of my money and just like put it in the coin slot, just to replenish them.
Ding 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 ding.
You hear it like in a vending machine. Either that or it's like a pachinko and you hear ding 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 ding. So you follow her back behind this heavy curtain. And in the back room, what you see on the floor is a large circle etched into the floor. There are at 6 points along it, empty, smaller circles, sort of like an alchemist circle that you might have seen, or like a magical sigil. And she goes over to a small table where she has several cabinets, takes out some supplies, and also takes out a book and starts thumbing through it till she finds a certain page, stops on that page, and still looking at the book, she goes to each of these circles and using the supplies that she has on hand, starts to draw certain symbols. But she tells you all, especially Perkins, who she has some sense about. Turn around, look the other way.
I just covered my eyes. I'm like, I'm not even looking. I don't know why you asked me to.
Close them. All of you.
A2's head sort of retracts into its torso. Into his...
Turtle.
Yes. And after a few moments, she says, very well. And when you open your eyes back up, she does have in front of a couple of them small screens so that you can't see the sigils there, because after all, this is part of her stock and trade. And you look up, by the way, and you notice they're engraved into the rock itself, of which the stone rather, of which this building is constructed, are faintly glowing magical runes that have started to pulse now that she is preparing to cast teleportation circle upon you all. What was that?
I get ready. I have my shield ready, and I pop out a javelin out of sort of my back, and I have it ready just because we don't know what's on the other side.
Very fair point. After she has put the chalk and ink in all of these, she comes to you and she says, very well, place yourselves in this circle. Understand that I will not be able to return you. Once you are sent to your destination, it is quite literally out of my power to assist you in any way. Do you understand?
Is there a portal open?
She hasn't opened it yet. She's
okay. So I say, yeah, I understand.
Very
we got
well.
this.
What was that?
We got this.
Okay. And she begins to cast the verbal component of her spell. And as she does so, you can start to feel the floor underneath you starting to vibrate slightly. The sigils which she has inscribed begin to glow and flare, and even the runes that are inscribed into the ceiling, the more permanent ones, also begin to flare. And in a flash of blue and white light, you are teleported away.
Oh no!
And that's where we can take a quick break.
Oh, so already? I didn't realize how much time had passed.
Oh my God.
For those watching, we do have a little bit of a, not crunch, but I want to make sure that we have time for all the things here, because there is another show after us here on Variant Roles for Dan's Invisible Sun game. I believe there may be a guest there today. Is that correct?
It's me.
Hey.
As I said, it is Variant Mats today on this channel.
I'm changing my shirt for each show.
Fair. So, we'll be back in maybe 5 minutes or so, just long enough to grab a drink of water, take care of any other business somebody needs to take care of, and be right back.
Alrighty.
Welcome back. We are no longer in the dungeon of the Mad Mage, but our group has just, as we went to break, teleported away through enchantments that are that were placed by Hallister Blackcloak himself to allow his lady friend to run a business of getting people out of town who need to get out of town in a hurry. And as the swirl of arcane energies that Tass had cast upon you recede, your eyes blink, and it is dark. It is very dark in here where you are. How many of you have dark vision?
I don't.
I have goggles of night.
Yeah, I also have goggles of night.
Shit, I can't see shit.
So two of you put down your night goggles, your night vision goggles. And Trixie's like, "What? What's the problem? It's just a little dark. That's no big deal." And you see, first of all, you see sigils. You see yourself in a similar sort of circle, and as you look around, you are in a somewhat rough-hewn cavern, and ahead of you, or to three walls, and then there is a stone door leading out of this room. But it is otherwise completely dark in here.
I cast dancing lights.
What do your dancing lights look like? Your dancing lights specifically.
They're just red lights.
All right.
Like a shitty lava lamp.
You have emergency lighting that's shifting like a lava lamp in the room, and you can now clearly see the door has a latch on it, etc., etc. What do you all do in here?
All right. Go ahead.
Oh no, never mind. You go.
Okay. So I'm gonna actually sort of like, are we like kind of standing in like a circle?
Yes.
Okay. She's going to get stuck in her bag for a second, as always. But
no.
she's gonna start to pull something out, but she stops herself and says, "Okay, I need to talk to you all for a second before we go in and do this. Okay, so this is really hard for me. I'm not good at this stuff. Just give me a minute here. Bear with me. So, I have gifts for you all, and I have been working on them when none of you were looking. But so I left my family a really long time ago. I don't know if they know that I left, but I left them. And you're the closest that I have felt to family in a really long time. And sometimes I really miss them, but that's a whole, anyway, you're just really important to me. That includes you, Perkins, as well. You're here now. You're part of the Goners. So whatever happens on the other side of that door, I just want you all to know that you meant something to someone here. And you had an impact on me. And I'm going to carry that with me forever, in this life and in the next, which may possibly come sooner rather than later. And listen, Crawford was cranky. He walked into that fight knowing that he was going to die. But today, we're going to bring this vampire down, hopefully, for Crawford. Because no one gets to take our disaster uncle without a fight. No one. So, anyway, I made these for you. They're not much, but I thought it might bring a bit of courage and brightness when things start looking dark. So, here, and then I can say a quick prayer for us if we want. And she pulls out these flower crowns for everyone, and each one of them has a different color scheme. And if you look like a little bit closer, there are these tiny woven little bats on them with a C on their backs and bellies. And then she reaches up and grabs Theola's hand and A2's hand and says, "So, Crawford, wherever you are, I hope you're resting now. And we're here, and we will always hold you. So I want you to rest your heart, and even though you're gone, we're going to carry your fire with us and within our souls. And today we're going to slay this vampire in your honor. And Garl, if you're listening, I may need your help today. We have a really important mission, so just please be with me today and be with us. Okay.
As you finish your prayer to Garl, you look around and you could swear that there was a moment ago, this room just had 4 walls and a door, but it looks like there was a little alcove to the side that you're not sure it was there a moment ago, but it's there now. And comes strolling out, kind of whistling, is this short little deep gnome. Right? One of those, the Svirfneblin, right? Kind of whistling. He's got kind of a very fashionable jacket on, like a little racing collar, like we might think of today. He's got earrings in his left ear, and he kind of walks with a little bit of swagger. And he comes out and he says, "Hey, Trixie!"
Oh, hi, Garl.
It's Jim Jar. It's complicated. Don't worry about it. I'm Jim Jar.
Hi, Jim.
But I understand you're here to do a thing. Is that right?
Yeah, we're here to do a thing.
You're gonna
We
do
sure
a thing. You know, I'm sort of a betting type. I don't know if you ever heard the legend of Jim Jar?
No, but I feel like we're about to.
No. I don't like to tell stories about myself. He totally loves it. I don't like to tell stories about myself. But, I'm a bit of a gambler, but I like to make sure that the gambles that I take are calculated ones. And I bet you can do this. I really think you can. And he kind of holds up his hand. He's like, no, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. And instead, he reaches in and he pulls out this crazy cool medallion, like from the 70s in our world. It looks like cheap plated gold, but it glows for a minute, and each of you get inspiration.
All right.
And a blessing that grants you the following benefits.
Oh, buddy.
For the next day, for the first time that if you are dying at the start of your turn, you stabilize. And whenever you roll a hit die to regain hit points, double the number of hit points it restores. This is a blessing of wound closure, which gives you the benefits of a periaptive wound closure.
Okay.
Which, I'll put this in there. I've realized it's basic rules, so everybody can see it. Which you guys can all see it anyway, because of guys, D&D Beyond.
That's right.
Who are not our sponsors.
Not as such.
Yeah. Not at the moment. All right. He says, so, you talk to Garl again. Tell him Jim Josh says, "What's up?"
Okay, I will.
And he turns around, he walks back around this corner that, again, you didn't think was there. And you blink, and there is no alcove there. There is no corner.
Cool. All right, let's go kill a vampire.
Anybody else have any reaction to that?
I'm gonna lean over to A2 and be like, how is it when we leave the forest, then all the weirdos come out?
A2 just like sighs and shrugs.
I grew up an orphan in a cult of demons, and this is the weirdest I've ever felt. Y'all are so extra.
Just hell yeah, we are. I'm just gonna, before we go, I'm just gonna turn to A2 and just quickly say, like, okay, Trixie said whatever happens there happens, but I just want you to know, because I don't tell you this, I write it in a journal, and I hide it from you. I was essentially living dead before you, You are my whole heart, and without you, there is nothing. Because you are my everything, to be cheesy and lame and quote. And I didn't think I could get a bigger heart until I met Trixie and Perkins and Nine and Crawford. You are all my heart. And I love you, and I would die for you. And it has been a very, very long time since I have had anyone I would die for, or anyone I would live for. So.
And A2 is very, very direct, kind of like, doesn't exactly display a lot of emotion, even if it's facial or otherwise, but they do seem to perceive that, and they say, if things happen, get behind me. I'm big. And
you go.
And they look to Trixie and Perkins and like, you two get behind her. She is also big.
This is true. I am 7 foot tall. I'm just gonna give A2 a quick hug and say, like, second promise, if anything does happen, you leave me. Okay? You go. And you be happy and you live a wonderful life, but you leave me behind, okay? It's okay. I give you my full permission to leave me. And I want you to be the happiest and give your sunshine and beautiful light that brought me back to life to other people. And I'm gonna quickly, before he can even reply, go to Trixie, give her a hug and say, like, you are the best person I know, next to A2, and you are just all good. There is not one bad part of you. And I'm gonna go to Perkins, like, you light shit on fire, and I love you for that. And also, I think you're a really neat guy. And if we survive this, we should totally hang out and have a drink and talk about your weird cult upbringing, because that sounds like a laugh riot.
Lots of laughs.
Don't die. I like you.
Right back at you.
Well, that was emotional. Let's just go punch something now.
And A2 quickly turns around to face the door before a little tiny, anime style oil bead.
So are you opening this stone door then? As everybody's trying to pretend like they're not crying? Perkins probably isn't crying.
Yeah. I want to do a perception check if I get close to the door, just to see if there's a keyhole I can look through, or if anything I can hear.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
And I would like to cast resistance on A2.
Awesome.
Oh.
All right, that is 18 plus my perception, which is 8. So that's 20 something, 20, 25?
26.
26.
Yeah, you put your ear, and it sounds very quiet. You hear the low moaning of wind far off in the distance. And occasionally you hear what sounds like a grinding sound and a thump at regular intervals. Not immediately right in front of it. It doesn't seem like it's right there, but you can hear it.
Okay. I relay this to everybody quietly, and I say, I think we should proceed quietly. I have a stealth directive. Gather close.
We all just hide inside of A2.
Sure.
I'd like to cast Pass Without a Trace, if I may.
All right.
Okay, let me mark down the spell slot.
Everybody gets plus 10 to your stealth checks, and you don't leave tracks. You can't be tracked except through magical means.
And this lasts up to 1 hour, so.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Is the door locked?
It is not locked.
I wonder if I should go first. Who's best at stealth?
I'm pretty sneaky. And I have a cloak that's made of pure fire, and I'm very, very sneaky actually.
I forgot about that. That's awesome.
I gesture to the door, but I stand ready with a shield just in case I can put it over him and.
Oh, so it's a cloak of elven kind, but it's it's fire. They have disadvantage on perception checks, and I have advantage on stealth. I'm gonna put the hood up.
All right.
Sure. Yeah.
And somehow, fiery shadow, if you will, envelops your little bardic friend.
That's right. Oh, so I will open the door and sneak on through.
All right.
Hey.
What you see in front of you, you are clearly deep in the Underdark, is what you can immediately tell. You are in a large cavern where, as you look around the walls of the cavern, there are small openings, like half-circle openings. There are maybe hundreds of these on the walls. The walls go up maybe 80 feet. It's very large. And there are several spires in the middle, some of which, only a few of which really, have an orange glow of light and warmth within them. And as you look around, you're coming out of a small building that's kind of set into one of the walls of the larger cavern, almost like a small cave, really. And you can immediately see what was making that sound that you heard. You see several constructs patrolling. They are not quite warforged. They are not fully sentient, but they are certainly very similar in appearance. They are hulking. They have small heads, large shoulders. Their left arms have sort of a blade attached onto the gauntlet itself, so that you can see this blade that extends past their gauntleted fists. And they are otherwise all metal. And they continue to, and you can see kind of just puffing out of them just a little bit, a little grayish black clouds, almost shadowy, but not puffing off into the distance, just kind of hanging around whatever kind of openings or crevices there are in their armor, where there are joints and so forth. A2B, you in particular may have heard of something called Fell Forged, and that's what these are. You would recognize these as Fell Forged.
How many of them are there? Do we know?
You can see 2.
Do I know enough about them to really gauge how dangerous they are?
Give me an intelligence history check.
Gotcha. Okay. Give me one moment. Let me find that. Okay. Oh boy. 10 exactly. No modifier.
You're not familiar with their combat prowess, unfortunately. You do know that they are forged to fight to fight on behalf of deep dwarves, the so-called Dwergar, but little else.
We should try to sneak around, I think. These things seem shifty.
Yeah, you're cute and they're real spooky. Let's stealth.
And then there's this little beep, boop, boop.
All right. Just for funsies, because I'm pretty sure. Everybody give me a stealth check with your bonuses as appropriate.
Was there a pass without a trace, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Remember, you have a plus 10.
Yeah. So dexterity +1. So that's 3 plus 10.
So 13.
It's a good thing I passed that because I rolled a 2.
Did anyone else have any?
I got a 26.
Okay,
25.
32.
32. Right. So the let's say organics among you are tiptoeing quietly, and Peter, what is A2B that's making so much noise? What does he do that makes so much noise?
I think there must have been like a loose gear in his change box, and maybe that's clinking around.
And so, as there, what you have, by the way, there's not a lot of area to hide behind, other than the walls around the sides of the cavern. But there are paths to the spires themselves, as well as a few kind of statues of some unknown dwarves and bridges that lead to some of the spires. So which direction are you going? Are you trying to just sneak around the outside of the cavern, or are you headed towards any of those spires?
I think we should probably circle around to one of the spires. What do y'all think?
That's what looks good.
Unless we have some way of knowing where exactly they are. Let's just, yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So as you're going along, A2B is just making a ton of noise. Just himself. And one of the Fellforged that's patrolling stops, and its body doesn't move, but its head extrudes a little bit, swivels, looks right at A2B, and it swivels its body towards you, and you hear this deep, echoing, sepulchral voice.
Unit, identify yourself.
ATOB, knowing that they've been made, takes a few steps forward to try to sort of block vision of the other people, and in a similar sounding voice, to get that, their head sort of just pops down a little bit, and they say, "Stealth unit returning from mission. Targets identified. Reporting to Lightdrinker."
Give me a deception check.
Oh, and do these things count as infernal, or are they constructs?
They are not infernal.
Okay.
They are constructs. They have a secondary tag, but it's not infernal.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Deception check. 10. No modifier.
Okay.
Oh, wait. +1. Excuse me. +1. 11.
Okay.
Identify targets, stealth unit.
Oh, geez. Okay. Okay. Wait, Perkins, are you're a halfling, right? Okay, gotcha. 2 halflings and a furbolg. They are reported looking after Lightdrinker and pursuing his whereabouts.
Give me another deception check.
Oh,
Try a different die. Okay. 11.
Oh no.
Roll that. That's with your +1?
That's with my +1.
State location of prey.
God.
Okay. I say location, poison quill attempting to teleport. I'm trying to give them something plausible that's they're going to go away.
Yeah. I'm gonna on that one, because there's a half truth to it. I'll give you deception with advantage. Please.
Okay. And I figure we don't necessarily care about,
Hell no, we don't care. I hope she gets knifed to death by Fellforge.
Okay, that's a little better. That's a 14.
Getting there.
Oh.
Anomaly found. Report for processing.
Acknowledged. And I start walking to the spire, because I assume that's where we go for processing. And I try to draw their attention. Like, I try to be basically not stealthy and, make sure at least my allies are not being paid attention to.
Right. So 2 of these Fellforged fall in on either side of you to escort you into the spire. What do the other 3 of you do?
Panic.
I have 2 things I could do, and I'm not sure which one's better.
Hey, you
If you
know
don't
what?
want to start something,
I have locate creature, which could help tell us where the vampire is, or I have guess, which I could use.
Gesh is a spell. It's pronounced Gesh. I know it looks like Gias.
Don't guess.
What are you attempting to cast one of those spells now?
Not at the moment.
Okay, so as you see, so to be clear, you see Warforged having interacted with some of these other constructs, these constructs that have bits of shadow and smoke floating around them, and otherwise have kind of a dull reddish glow coming from within their metallic exteriors. And they have fallen on either side of him, escorting him in for processing. And he, by the way, as he leaves, the benefits of Pass Without a Trace follow him. You have to stay within a certain range of him. So what do
We're not leaving him.
I'm also going to say that my head turns around and sort of gives like a nod, like, if you want to go, we can. If you want to follow us in, that's also great.
You just any option that's like leaving A2, Theola's just not gonna do.
I'm gonna.
Oh, what do we?
I'm gonna use my loot. Gonna cast levitate on him.
on A2B?
Yeah, on A2B. Now it's from my loot, so it's from a magic item, so does it need components?
No, I think the magic item takes the place of that component.
Right. So there we are.
But it does make a sound, obviously. So A2B, are you willing or unwilling? Do you try to resist the spell?
I assume I see him casting it.
You're aware that he's casting it.
Sure, why not? Let's see what happens.
All right. You begin to float off of the ground 20 feet into the air.
Okay. Okay.
And you are not right up against a wall. You're kind of out in sort of a courtyard. And the other 2 Fellforged stop. Their heads swivel. They look up as you just kind of start to float helplessly 20 feet up. But Perkins, you cast this through your loot.
Yeah.
So you kind of it made some sound. What did you play a song, or did you just play a thick riff?
No, never mind. I just give it a little bing, bing, bing. It's a lute, so I just like bing, 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 bing.
All right. They turn and they see you, and all of a sudden, I mentioned earlier the faintly glowing red light from within their metal exteriors starts to flash, and they start to blare.
Intruders identified.
And at that,
For extermination.
Everyone roll initiative.
okay. Okay. Sorry, I couldn't do that, Sneaky.
That's
That's
all right. We
okay.
tried.
No.
This has got a friendship.
Cocked. 18 plus my dex, so that'd be a 19 total.
Okay. Anyone got a higher than a 19?
Oh, yeah, I got 22.
Okay. What you got, Trixie
15.
and Theola?
Also 15.
All right, you two folks can choose between you two on each turn where you want to be with that. And so this order is going to be Perkins followed by A2B. So Perkins, what do? They have clearly made you as they heard you cast this spell from your loot.
I just keep on keeping on, and I have slippers of spider climb, so I'm just gonna climb up a wall 25 feet.
All right, so you kind of
God.
they're about 60 feet away from you.
Perfect. I'm like, why don't you go fuck off? And I cast dissonant whispers at one of them. Let's do it at the old second level there. They need to make a wisdom saving throw, DC 18. Yeah.
Okay. I'm checking a couple of things here.
It has no charmed riders or anything.
Yep. Just making sure. So this, yeah, it's just an enchantment, right?
But it's not.
It's not a charm effect, right?
No, it's
Okay,
not.
good. Just want to double checking.
And it has
What's your DC?
18 wisdom.
Yeah. So that one, it definitely it fails its check. So what happens?
It's going to take 4d6 psychic damage, and
Okay,
it is going to have to use its reaction to dash away.
All right. So you want to give me that
20 points of psychic damage.
20 psychic damage. All right.
Ow!
Yay.
I want to check something here. Yep. You're good. I was making sure that the constructs were not immune to psychic, but they are not.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, these are not from the monster manual.
No, I know where they're from. I use that book all the time.
Yeah, good. So, yeah, one of them turns, and you hear it saying,
Malfunction!
and flees away. Anything else on your turn?
No, with my bonus action, I'm going to inspire my boy A2B. I'm like, oh, A2B, you're so fine, you blow my mind, A2B. A2B. They have a D10 inspiration for 10 minutes.
Is that a
Attack rolls, ability checks, saving throws.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, on saving throws as well.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. You're not a lore bard. You're something else.
No, I am a lore bard.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you do on your turn, A2B?
So how far is the? I assume the one who ran away is now like 30 feet away or something.
Yeah, the one who ran away is 30 feet away, and then there's one 20 feet below you.
Okay. Let me just check this spell. Real
Also,
quick.
You can lower yourself 20 feet.
Okay. Let's see. Lightning.
You can move up or down, but otherwise you don't have any. You're not able to move. You can only move up or down by your speed every turn.
Gotcha. Okay.
And if you move with, don't move more than 60 feet away from him. Hint, hint.
Yes.
You're about 60 feet away now, so don't move further away.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm going to use a bonus action to cast. Just because this sounds really cool with me levitating in the air and everything, I'm going to cast Lightning Arrow as a bonus action.
Oh, I forgot you were a ranger, like a ranger.
Yeah. And then like some Greek god, like with the shield out, this huge arm pulls back like almost impossibly far, and energy just crackles up my arm and over the javelin, and boom, just throws it almost at literally lightning speed towards the Fellforge directly below me.
Okay, give me that attack roll.
Okay. And just in case, I'm going to have a D10 at the ready. Alrighty. That's okay. 7 plus my attack. Javelin. That would be 7 plus 7, 14. Does that hit? Or wait, no, yeah. The D10 is 3, so 17.
It does hit with the 17.
Okay.
Yeah, so your lightning javelin comes down, strikes it in the shoulder. Give me your damage roll.
All right. Question about lightning arrow. Does that include the damage of the javelin itself, or does it take the place of?
Instead of.
Okay, 4d8. Let me get a couple more d8s here. Alrighty. 4, 9. So 4 plus 5 is 9. Plus another 4 is 13. Plus 7. So 14 plus 7 is like 21.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then I lower myself 20 feet down to the ground, so I'm within.
You're right next to it. Yeah.
Can I just end my concentration?
You can end your concentration at any time. Doesn't require
once he lowers himself, I'll end my concentration.
Okay.
And can I, as part of my movement, can I since I've thrown the javelin, can I take out my axe?
You can draw it as part of making. Yeah, you got one free action. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. As you strike it with the lightning javelin, you see that some of the electricity seems to ground off into the earth, so that it resists some of the damage.
Okay.
And it. Anything else on your turn?
That's it.
All right. Then Trixie and or Theola, followed by the Fellforged.
You go, Trixie.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and that cancels out Pass Without a Trace because Lightning Arrow was concentration.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. I'm actually.
They're about 30 feet away from you, Trixie and Theola.
Okay. I'm just gonna cast Sacred Flame. I'm so worried about using any spell slots.
All right. What's your DC?
We're gonna fight a friggin' vampire. 17.
Yeah, it fails. roll that damage dice. Are you casting on the one that's right next to A2B?
Yes.
Okay.
7. Radiant damage.
Total?
7 total.
You don't have more I thought you had several D8s to roll.
3.
Yeah, you got 3 D8 to roll at your level.
Nope.
Oh, right. I read that wrong. You're right. How do I play this game?
I want to give you all the damage that you got.
23.
There we go.
There you go. That sounds more like what somebody your level should be doing.
I'm so glad someone knows how to play.
Yeah, so yeah, for a moment, holy flame envelop. What color is your sacred flame?
Glitter.
It's gold and glittery.
Gold and glittery envelops this thing, and you can see it burns away some of that for just a moment. Some of that unnatural shadow, that unnatural fumes that hang around this construct. Anything else on your turn?
Nope, that's it.
All right, Theola.
I have drawn a total blank. What do we add to attack, like a D20 roll? Because I'm like trying to figure it out.
So look at your character sheet.
Is it like so character sheet? Yes.
Look at the weapon that you want to use.
Or spell.
Oh, if I'm using a spell.
Okay, so it'll tell you on the spell either you have to roll like a plus whatever, or it'll say DC something. What spell are you trying to cast?
Yeah, that I prepared this, Juicy. Ah, yes, I remember. I'm gonna hop on my broom of flying and try and cast heat metal.
Oh,
very good.
Look at you.
So heat metal doesn't have, the reason that you're confused is because heat metal doesn't have a thing.
That's right.
It just happens.
Y'all, it's vicious.
Can you believe I've been playing for an entire year?
It's fine. That one is a little bit different. So this thing is certainly made of metal. It begins to glow red hot. Matt, you're not allowed to eat those, by the way.
They were so good.
You're not. You cannot.
They were so good.
You can't. They are nachos.
What?
They're not.
Oh!
They're nacho fries.
They were. They're mine now. I already ate them.
All right. So, yeah, the creature. I will say that since it is a construct that is clearly made of metal, it is not going to be able to drop anything. Therefore, it's going to have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. This is a concentration spell. So until the spell ends, you can use a bonus action on each of your subsequent turns to cause this damage again.
No, I'm gonna do that.
What level did you cast it at?
Just second level.
Okay, second level. Then roll me that.
It's fine.
You roll that 2d8.
2d8. That is a 6 and a 2.
I assume you're doing the one next to A2V.
Yes.
You see it start to glow, but you also start to see that some of the vents on it start to also work overtime, absorbing some of the extra heat. It is resisting your fire damage.
But it does take the damage a little bit.
It takes the damage. It just takes half damage.
Good.
I'm just gonna fly past him and say, "Process that, you jerk!"
Yeah, that's right.
Listen to that. Okay. On it now, it still has disadvantage, however, which is good because it is going to make an attack on A2B. It's going to make 2 attacks.
Disadvantage. Oh!
It's got disadvantage. Absolutely. Try to grab my second die.
And didn't Emma cast resistance? How long does that last?
It's only a minute, so I would guess it's gone by now.
Yeah, that's probably gone now. So that's going to miss because I don't think 11 hits you.
No.
Then it tries to make its second attack. It's punching with its fists. Does a 15 hit you?
No.
No either. The other one that had been scared away runs back up to you now because I think Dissonant Whispers doesn't last, right? It's
just that reaction.
That's fine. And as it runs back to you, it does the same thing. Oh, that's not at disadvantage, but does a 22 hit you?
No.
Holy shit.
What is your AC?
24.
Yay!
What is this?
Wait, how is your AC 24?
Okay. So my equipment that I have a shield. I have a +2 shield. I have the Cloak of Protection.
Oh, okay.
And I'm also a Juggernaut.
He's progging. He's going off. Sorry, I've been playing with esports.
Yeah, no, that's fair. No, so you fended off with that magical shield, and it doesn't affect you for just a moment. You can feel the necrotic energies flowing out of this construct into you. And by the way, or not into you, but into the shield. But the shield fends it off. Theola, as you flew by, as you got close enough, what you are attuned to the natural world in a way that the others are not. You have connection to animals in particular, and something in that wild part of you, that natural part of you, kind of raises the hackles on your neck, and you sense within these constructs a highly unnatural presence, and you are a fully intelligent being and thus are not sent panicking, but it kind of makes the animal part of you feels like it wants to flee, but you don't flee, but an animal would because of their unnatural aura.
It's a good thing I'm not in beast shape. Woo.
And that's the end of their turn, and so we are back up to Perkins.
Alrighty then, folks. Don't you know it's time to get this party started? I'm going to cast a spell. Can I aim a fireball to hit them, but not, what's his face? A2B?
It would be difficult not to hit A2B.
Alright, then I will just cast, a flaming sphere at 4th level, and I will ram it into the one that he's been working on.
Okay.
Dexterity
so
saving throw.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what's up.
Yeah.
What's your DC?
18.
They fail. Or
And-
it failed.
I am an elemental adept of fire, so I ignore fire resistance.
Yeah. There you go, buddy. You also know.
12.
Are you
8,
limiting into the one that you hit before or the one the others that have
the
been
one
hit?
that he's been working on. So
Okay.
yeah.
Fair enough.
12 plus 6. 18 points of fire damage.
All right. Yeah. The rest of you notice that his fire appears somewhat different from what the rest of you have cast. And in fact, as it envelops, as that flaming sphere rams into him, you can see extra bits of flame going into the heat sinks, and they flare like they're not able to handle that level of heat. They literally cannot handle the heat.
That's right. That's right.
Anything else on your turn?
No, that's my whole turn.
All right, A2B.
Alrighty.
You're standing there next to them.
Okay, so if I use a bonus action, I can still attack twice, correct?
However many attacks you have on your attack action.
Okay, but can I also use a bonus action as a ability, and then make
If
two?
you have
attacks?
something else that gives you a bonus action, absolutely.
Okay, so as a bonus action, I'm
Yeah,
going.
you get attack. Yeah, you get 2 attacks per action, and then whatever bonus action you do.
Okay, as a bonus action, I'm going to mark the one in front of me as my Slayer's Prey.
Yo.
Yes.
The one that you were hitting before.
Yes.
Okay, making
And-
a note here.
And if I read this correctly, it means that this is active until I finish a short or long rest, so I can keep on using it like per encounter, correct?
Right. So when you finish a short rest, or if you designate a different creature.
Okay, so I could use it multiple times throughout all of this. Okay.
Right.
Okay, so I use that, and then I make 2 attacks. I'm gonna make a couple of axes at this person. There's my 2 d20s. Okay, 6 plus 11 is 17, and 14 plus 11 is
25. Yeah, both of those hit.
Okay. 2d8 plus 8. 8 and 8 plus 8, so that's 16, and a 6 plus 8, which is
14.
14. So
So
16.
30 total.
30 total plus a d6. 34 damage.
Not bad. Now this
Yeah.
thing's starting to look like it's getting pretty worn down. What was your? Oh, you already did your bonus action, right? With your Slayer's Prey, and it stays on that one until you move it to a different creature or take a rest. All right, very good. Trixie and Theola.
Oh, you're muted. Emma.
Oh,
Am I still muted?
No,
Nope.
No,
you're not.
Theola, would you do you want to go first this time?
yeah, I only have one plan, and it's to like fly by and stab him with my dagger.
I support this plan.
Don't forget you have your heat metal going, so you can use your bonus action.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna stab him and then use heat metal, and as I'm doing it, I'm gonna say, "You're tacky and I hate you."
Yes!
You know, you don't actually have vicious mockery, I don't think, as a spell.
Oh, damn it.
Okay, so give me your 2d8.
What the 2d8? 5.
Okay, and then your dagger attack.
Oh, my 2d8. I have to roll 2. So 5 and 6.
Is 11.
And then my dagger attack is a 1d4 plus.
Well, you have roll your attack roll against it first for the dagger.
17.
That hits.
Yay. That's 3. So plus 1 is 4.
They've been short-shanked.
Short-shanked.
All right. And you, as you fly by and you say, "You're attacking, I hate you." No, I'm not.
The demons have feelings too, you know. That's what Perkins shouts.
You're not far off the mark there.
Yeah, they're fiends.
Let me close all
Devils.
of these things because we're not using those spells anymore. Very good. Anything else, Theola?
I'm gonna yell back to Perkins. They make the animal part of my brain go, yeah!
They make my other parts of my brain go yeet.
Yes, yeah!
No.
So I have a question, Theola. Does your broom give you any abilities to avoid opportunity attacks?
Let's have a look.
God, no.
I don't think so.
I do not think so.
It's an unattuned item.
Forgot.
Wooden broom, which way is it found? You can spend 1 broom traveling just 1 mile. Broom comes back to you. No, it's
Okay. So
it's a
they're
lot of aesthetic.
each gonna make an opportunity attack against you as you fly away.
They're both
That's fair. I didn't insult you.
What's your AC?
16.
16. All right. Let's see. That's one of them hits you and the other one misses.
The one that hit her, I'm gonna go, hoo! I'm gonna use cutting words and go, hoo! Hell forged! What is it good for? Absolutely nothing! I'm just gonna do a little dance.
Give me your D10 to subtract from it.
A2 starts dancing a little.
10!
Yeah, no. Just as it's about to connect with that blade in its gauntlet, it hears that and it looks your way, and that's when it misses.
That's right.
But now they're going to attack A2B for all that it's worth.
Bring it.
One of them has disadvantage.
One of them has got my 2 dice.
Okay.
Gonna miss.
Oh my god, armor class 24. Literally 24.
Yeah, it's wait, what is your AC?
24.
24.
Oh, so 24 would have hit before, right?
Oh, did they roll a?
Or did they roll a 22 before?
I think they rolled a
22. Yeah. Okay, then the one that has the disadvantage on it from the hold metal because of Theola misses. The other one misses with both of its fists, and they're just not doing much work against A2B. He's just blocking everything.
It's like the Iron Giant with that field of like tanks firing at it. It's
Yeah.
like,
Very good, and we're back around to Perkins.
Point of order. Did that one end its turn within 5 feet of the flaming sphere?
They both did.
All right. Dexterity saving throws, or do they just take it? I think it's Dex still.
And we also missed Trixie.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'd like to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we got Trixie. I thought Trixie went before Theola.
Right. Well, still end of their turn. First things first.
We'll do Trixie's turn, and then we'll get the end of theirs while you're getting that together.
Okay.
Trixie, what do you got?
I'm just gonna do Sacred Flame again.
Okay.
DC 17.
Gonna fail the saving throw.
17.
oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that thing's in bad shape now. All right. Anything else on your turn, Trixie?
They say it.
All right. It's glittering, but that glittering is starting to spark a little bit. Now, what happens at the end of their turn?
So they need to make a dexterity saving throw, DC 18, because it's sitting there.
What's the range on that?
5 feet.
Okay, so does A2B.
Okay.
No worries. Dex throw.
Yep. A DC 18.
Okay, one saves and one fails.
It's 18 fire damage, ignores fire resistance.
I rolled a 13 plus 7.
Yeah, you make it. So you take 9.
That's 20. Yeah, you take half damage. So what did you? How much was the damage? 18 damage.
Yup. 18.
Okay, so only 9 for A2B.
Yup. And the one who saved.
Yep. All right. Now it is Perkins' turn.
Oh, hey, that's me. I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, you never felt fire this hot before, have you, Have ya? Yeah. I'm going to cast Firebolt.
Okay. What's your attack roll?
24.
Oh yeah, that hits.
All right. 3d10 fire damage ignores fire resistance.
Thank you for reminding me. That's good.
Ah! My dice are going everywhere.
I love Matt's laugh.
Right? Isn't it the best?
21 points of fire damage.
Oh.
The one that he's been working on. I don't care. You know, whatever.
Right, the one that he's been still.
Yeah.
He's working on a different one from everybody else because focusing fire is not a thing for this group.
Right. And then with my bonus action, can I rear this thing back and then fly it forward again to ram it? It says you
What
can.
does it say?
It says you can move the sphere up to 30 feet. If you ram the sphere into a creature, that creature must make the saving throw against the sphere's damage. Yeah. So I'm just gonna rear it back and fly it at that one that I just hit with the firebolt. Dex save DC 18.
You said 19 fire on the first one, right?
Yeah, it was 8. Well, yeah, 21 points of fire.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I got it. Okay. And how much on this one?
Well, let me roll. Oh, the dice are good to me tonight. 19 points of fire damage.
The dice are good to you tonight.
Yeah. 6, 4, 4, 5.
Okay. Anything else?
Is it looking rough? Is it looking very
They
rough?
are both looking rough.
All right, that's my whole
They're starting
turn.
to spark. Some of the metal is starting to kind of warp from the heat.
I'm sizzling hot.
And it's A2B's turn. A2B's turn.
Okay. I forgot this in the past, but I have the duelist thing for my combat specialty, so I deal an extra 2 damage on any weapon attack. So,
All right.
yeah, I forgot that. Okay, I'm going to make another 2 attacks on the one that is my prey. I'm going to do it as a single attack at a time.
Well, I think that's already included in your what D&D Beyond shows you.
Oh, nice. Okay, there we go. All right. So that's a 15 plus...
Hits, yes.
Okay. All right. And that's going to
Plus anything will hit.
Right.
I mean, the AC is 15, so 15 would have hit.
Gotcha. Okay. Roll D8, which is 8 plus 8 is
16.
16. Plus a D6 is 5. So 21 for that first attack.
That one is almost down.
Okay, and then I make a second attack. All right. That's a 9 plus 11.
Yep.
Yep, okay. And that's just a straight up D8 plus 8. 7 plus 8, 15.
So I'm just going to tell you, that one shudders for a moment, and all of you hear a shrieking sound as the shadow, as it begins to burst. The shadows that were in it swirl into a vaguely humanoidish form before they swirl up and are gone away, and the clockwork itself explodes, and I need A to B to make a dex save, and the other Fell Forge is also making the same dex save.
Okay. Oh, nat 20.
Yep, you pass. So both of you pass. So these gears shatter, flywheels become unbalanced, springs snap, pulleys flap around, and this thing just explodes, and you are able to dodge the debris from it.
Oh.
And with like smoke wafting off of me and like, you know, debris, I say, "Fell forged," or like, "Bale forged."
There it is.
All right, Trixie and Theola, please save us.
Trixie, after you.
Oh, well, thank you. That's the wrong accent.
Hi, Miss Magpie.
I'm gonna just do what I've been doing because it's been working.
All right.
So, Sacred Flame.
Sacred Flame, it passes.
No.
Sorry, it had a dirty 20 for its save throw. So. Anything else?
No, that's it. That's all.
All right, Theola, what you gonna do?
Is the one who I cast heat metal on dead?
Yes.
Ah, bollocks. I'm trying again, like Trixie. I'm trying not to use all my spell slots because I sense I'll need them.
You guys are 15th level, 14th level characters. You can use a spell slot or two.
I don't know why you're. This is a one shot. I don't know what you're holding on to your spell slots for.
That is true. I'm just in case people die and I need a 7th level regenerate spell.
You're doing more damage to the. You're hurting yourself more by not using your resources.
Damn it, yeah. That's actually true. Okay, I'm gonna cast heat metal again.
It just happens. So give me your 2d8.
2d8. Can I cast it at a high level though?
Yeah.
You absolutely are allowed to cast it at a level for which you have spell slots available.
Okay, I cast it at level 4.
Oh, there we go.
4d8.
4d8 damage. And I'm gonna use the roll 20 for that because it saves me doing maths.
Maths.
It saves me doing maths.
Calculations.
It saves me doing the calculations with my brain. Oh wow, I'm not good at roll 20.
Are these calculations or more like calculations?
But /R. How much?
15.
15.
Yeah, roll 20 is not kind to me. I regret my choices.
It's fine. Okay, so it takes 7 damage, and you see it start. Its exterior starting to warp some more. Anything else on your turn?
I'm gonna flick it in the forehead.
Are you staying there, or are you swooping back up into the sky?
I'll swoop. I feel good about my chances.
Okay. It's 16 versus your AC.
My AC is 16.
So it hits.
Don't make me close one more door. I don't want to hurt anymore. Stay in my arms if you dare, or must I imagine you there? Cutting words. 5, -5.
I cannot. Yeah. No, so that's gonna be it's gonna miss, just like I am missing right now. It's so distracted by that.
Effective, is it not?
It's working on the DM as well. Very good. Yes. In fact, now that makes it Perkins' turn. Perkins, this thing is about done. What do you do?
Ram the flaming sphere. Wait. Ram the flaming sphere. Dex DC 18. Fire damages.
It fails. It fails. 13
points of fire damage.
Which it does not resist because you're so freaking awesome.
That's right.
You're awesome.
I don't have anything.
That's your bonus action. Anything else on your turn?
13 to hit on my firebolt. I'm like,
nope, it whiffs.
I'm like, I shouldn't have sang that one. My vocal stress.
Can you bring us home with this thing?
I believe in A2B.
A2B.
Oh, right, yes, okay. Yeah, nope. I bonus action, Slayer's Prey.
You don't. Oh, yeah, you move it over there, right?
And I say, you better pray. And I make 2 attacks. Alrighty. It's a 19 and a 12, both plus 11.
They both hit.
Okay. I'm going to do the D6 first. That's 1. And 2d8 plus 8. I'm totally blanking on my dice. Where did my... Oh, there it is. All right. So that's 6 plus 16. So
22. That's yeah. So describe how you chop this one up.
It's kind of like, you know how in all of those Gundam or Robotech things where you see the beam sword just carved straight through. It's like that, but with an and it just like crumples like a tomato can.
Yes. Can you give me a dex save?
Okay. 8 plus 7. So 15.
Yeah, and again, as the scrap metal of which it's now composed, explodes and bits and pieces go flying everywhere. You dodge it, and again you see what looks like when I say humanoid, it's almost like a cross, but at the ends of the crossbar, a few kind of dangly arms hang down, and it swirls up into the sky as Trixie, I think you would recognize, you being a cleric, and possibly Theola as well, being a druid, that these are basically wraiths inhabiting these constructs.
And I look down at the crumpled corpse and up at the spirit, and I say, "You're just a war forgery."
Oh, man.
It just dissipates away.
Oh my god. How much psychic damage do we take from that?
A lot.
20, ballpark it for me, 40 d6, like...
Yeah. Yeah, no, that one was at least 4d6.
Pun meteor swarm.
Psychic damage.
Yep.
So you are now kind of outside one of these spires, and as you look up, you can see in one of the upper spires, you see that the light is glowing brighter, and you can see the silhouette of a humanoid looking down upon you.
Fireball!
It's way out of your range. Yeah.
Oh.
What's your range?
300 feet, I think? I don't know. Oh, 150.
300 feet, bro.
Sorry, that's my 3rd edition talking. 150 feet for fireball.
Yeah, go ahead and what's your DC?
DC 18. I sure hope this was Zorok the Lightdrinker.
So as your fireball arcs through the air and impacts right on that spire, there's an explosion. And yeah, roll your damage for me.
29 points of fire damage.
Yeah.
Fire, yeah.
Did I do that?
You can now see those curtains on fire that were in the spire, and there's, after a moment, a swirl of smoke, and it within there, and then you don't see anything else. You just see kind of that room is on fire now up there. What do you do?
Oh, that was probably the vampire. Well, I'm hoping anyway.
Well, I guess we should start going up there then.
Let's go, SpaghettiOs.
Let's go, Daddy-Ols.
As you get to the entrance, there's a stone door that leads up into this spire. As you approach it, you can see that engraved on the frame of the door are more magical sigils and runes. What do you do?
Do we recognize the runes and sigils?
You can give me an Arcana check.
Okay. That's 23.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you specifically. You are not entirely sure of all of the effects, but you are quite sure that at least among other things, the door is magically locked.
Okay.
I don't have Dispel Magic, to be honest.
I have
I do.
detect magic. Yay!
I say, if you dispel it, I will push through it.
Yeah, you will, buddy.
Okie dokie. All right, yeah, I guess I'm going to cast Dispel Magic probably at something higher than 3rd level.
I will... I will inspire you. I will say, you're doing great. No, come on. What can I think of? Okay, your name is Trixie. You're a pixie.
What? So it's a 3rd level spell normally. What level did you want to cast it at? Or did you want to try anything else to identify this before you try your dispel? It's up to you. I'm not cluing you one or the other. I'm just looking at
No,
the
I know.
options
I'm
of
just
the
giving
spell.
myself a minute here. Do we want to like prepare anything in case he's like right on the other side of the door? Guys?
You want to take a short rest?
No, I don't mean that. But do we need to?
If he's on the other side of that door, I'm gonna light him up.
Yeah,
Okie dokie.
I was gonna say. Oh.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if anybody has any problems, once you cast that, I was thinking I was just gonna charge in and Kool-Aid through the door.
Oh yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna cast aid on Theola and Perkins and A2. So you all get
your HP max and current HP both raised by 5 for the next 8 hours. It is not a concentration spell.
Correct.
Shit, I'm running out of inspiration. Yeah, I'm just gonna inspire you, Trixie, on this roll, so you can.
How many?
Well, I don't have to roll.
Cutting words. Use your inspiration.
Yeah. So I have 2 left. So I'm about to use one for her.
But how many did you have total?
5.
Oh, that's why. Okay. Yep. Never mind. Yep. So you're going to use one of those 2 on Trixie?
I'm debating.
You don't have to because I don't roll on this.
Well, you do if it's above your level.
Right, but
but she hasn't identified yet. So what's one way or the other? I'm not telling you that it is or isn't requiring an ability check. I'm just asking you if you're trying to identify anything or if you're just casting the spell, and if so, at what level?
No, I want to see if I can figure out like what if I recognize the runes. Can I also tell like what, like how powerful this is?
I think you would need an identify spell to do that.
I have detect magic. Does that help at all?
Let's identify schools. Hey,
Yeah.
Identify schools, and I'm trying to see if it tells you. Yeah, are you casting detect magic?
I'll cast detect magic to try and help out.
All right, it takes 10 minutes. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It lasts up to 10 minutes unless you cast it as a ritual. If you use a first level spell slot.
Or she's a furball and she could just do it.
Yeah, it's part of my race features that I can apparently just do that.
Awesome. You reckon that door glows in your view with abjuration magic, but it doesn't tell you the level of the spell.
I relay that to Trixie.
Can you enhance her ability to dispel magic? Do you have enhance ability? Second level spell.
I mean, she might be able to just do it. She might not. Either way, she just hasn't tried yet. It's not that she's tried and failed.
I believe in you, Trixie.
You can do it! Oh, I actually do have that.
Okay, I'm gonna...
Trixie, I totally have enhance ability.
Oh.
Bear's endurance, bull strength, cat's grace, eagle splendor, fox's cunning, owl's wisdom. So what kind of check is it?
Well,
she hasn't had to make a check yet.
Oh.
If she needs to, it'll be with her spellcasting ability.
Okay, so what's your spellcasting ability?
Wisdom.
Okay, so I can cast fox, owl's wisdom.
What does that give her?
That gives you the target has advantage on wisdom checks.
Okay, so if you have to make a check, she'll have advantage on it. That's fair. All right, so Trixie, what is it you're casting?
Dispel magic on the
At what level?
3rd level? 4th level. I'm gonna do it at 4th level.
Okay. You reach within yourself. You spend 25. Oh no, that's a different thing. As you reach within, you say your magic word, make your hand motion, and the arcane runes on the door frame fade immediately, and you can hear some sort of metallic click inside the door.
I think I did it.
You did so good.
Okay.
Let's go.
Do we want to do this stealthy or fast?
Let's fuck him up.
He knows.
Yeah, he already knows we're here.
I fireballed him in the face.
A2 just charges. I have a javelin ready, so my intent is after if I can burst through the door, after I burst through the door, throw it at the first thing that I see.
Yeah, as you hit that door, the door just flies open anyway. It's already been unlocked. So as you hit that door, it just smacks open. And you see a dark corridor with wrought iron torch sconces hanging at regular intervals from the walls. Each of them has a fresh torch, but it's obvious none of them have ever been lit. On one wall, there is a smashed mirror with an ornate antique frame hanging there. There's shards of glass on the floor where they fell, which is clearly, it's not that you broke it, that it was already broken. And the corridor winds up into the spire. What do you do?
I'm running.
Yeah.
Let's
Down the stairs.
All right. You run into a room. As you get up there, you get to a large room and you see several features. First of all, the room itself, which is about 30 by 30, is divided by iron bars, each spaced about 4 inches apart. And there's a gate in there. On the other side of it is some sort of an altar, and you can see Crawford's body lying on the altar. And standing next to it is Zorak Lightdrinker, the dwarven vampire. And he holds up his hands and he says, "We should treat before you continue."
I'm about to throw, but I stop and I swivel my head back around to look at everybody.
I'm readying the spell Dawn.
Yeah, yeah. I've got like a sunbeam ready.
What? Say your piece, Bloodsucker.
And he puts a hand on Crawford's form, and he says, "I am not your enemy. Your enemy is Hallister Blackcloak, as he is mine as well."
From where I was standing where you were eating Crawford, you looked a lot like an enemy.
I can understand why this would appear this way, but you should know that Blackcloak is a powerful mage who many years ago had placed me under his ensorcelment, burying me within his obstacle course as a foul trap for adventurers who might stumble upon and have the gumption to open my coffin. He then further ensorcelled me so that I was compelled to slay the first adventurer to open my resting place. Once that was complete, and he hangs his head and he pats again on the shoulder of Crawford. Everybody give me a perception check.
Oh no, why am I so bad at these? Woohoo! Yeah, great.
Could I also roll an insight check on the vampire?
You can absolutely do that.
And undead are my favorite enemy. I guess it's only bonus to int checks though, so I guess never mind.
Emma, you have advantage on all your wisdom stuff right now. For now.
Yeah, because
Does it
Certainly do.
Enhanced ability is awesome.
Does this count as,
It's an underused spell for sure.
Oh my
does this count as Underdark?
You are definitely in the Underdark.
Okay.
You are definitively in the Underdark.
Double proficiency for perception. It's a 9 plus 16.
All right. The other three of you, what are your perception checks?
Dog
28.
shit.
I got 28.
28 and Trixie?
I got a 19 on my insight, and I got a 16 on my perception.
So A2B and Theola notice the smallest movement in Crawford's body there.
Is this a spell?
No.
Okay.
No, you just see it start to, like, you can see it move slightly. Trixie, your insight check. What were you trying to insight? What were you trying to determine?
I was trying to determine how truthful he was about being under Hallister's sort of iron fist grip.
All right, fair. What was, you said 19?
Yes.
Yeah, as far as you can tell, he is telling you the truth.
Okay.
So as he says, I was placed under the effects of his foul Gesh spell that compelled me to this course of action. Once freed, I retrieved the body of the fallen and brought him here to Lightdrinker Necropolis, that I might return him to a form of existence, though perhaps not that to which he was previously accustomed. If you wish to destroy me for this, I am certain that is within your capabilities, but you must ask yourselves if revenge is truly what you wish, or if you simply wish to recover your friend.
Why not both? I don't say that like too
Oh.
loud.
Oh,
I say
I
that
was-
like kind of under my breath.
I'll look at Theola. I'll be like, listen, I was raised by demons. I don't care if a vampire lives or dies.
In fact, you in particular, Perkins, would be from the plane from which you hail,
Yes.
would be accustomed in
Yes.
everyday life
Yeah.
to having vampires everywhere. Like, vampires just like another.
Yeah.
They're, they're not your friends,
No.
but they're not. They're just there. They're just people.
I mean,
There might be a few in the cult of Rakdos, though normally they're not.
we could just take your friend and go. If he's like Lightdrinker is now, I mean, by the way you sound when you talked about Crawford, it sounds like he would actually might like being a vampire. I don't know, but it's up to you. I will see this through to the very end with all of you, and I'm just here to support you. Say the word, and I'll burn this vampire into cinder.
A2 just stands, doesn't like drop weapons, but just sort of goes slack and looks back at Theola and Perkins and Trixie and says, I just want my friend back.
Trixie's gonna look up at Theola. This one might be your call. You were there with him when he was taken, and I think that we'll support whatever we decide to do here. I will destroy him, or we can walk out of here with Crawford.
Theo's gonna have the spell in one hand, but it's gonna be very diminished. And she's gonna start walking towards him slowly and just walking straight up to him and say, do you have any idea, any at all, what it is like to watch someone die in front of you and be able to do nothing about it? Do you have any idea what it is like to suffer like that and watch them and do nothing to help? And do you have any idea how you get this close to getting revenge on them and making things right for not being able to save them? And just have it taken away. Do you understand that at all with he was using me as a spell? I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about your spell or how you went through. He was my friend, and I tried. Ah! And I'm gonna let the spell go. I'm gonna say, I am never gonna forgive you for this. But I don't want them to die for it either. And I want my friend back. Just bring him back, and I swear to God, if there's anything wrong with him, I'm gonna come back here, and I'm going to eviscerate you from this very earth until not even the dust of your corpse remains. Do you understand me?
As you say that, you see Crawford's body sit up and swivel so that his legs are hanging off of the table or altar that he's on. Fiola, give me a perception check at advantage, please.
That is a 27. Not a 27. I don't know why there's a 27. I'm very emotional right now.
I saw.
Yeah. No, that is a 27. I have a +9 to perception.
All right. You observe that while Crawford is sitting up looking at you, his chest is not moving up and down as if he were breathing. And he says, Viola, it really means a lot that you came all this way. But as I told you, it was always going to end like this. It was always going to be this way.
And I came all this way to tell you, fuck that. You do not get to decide when to walk out and die, not when you have responsibilities. You have a family now. You do not get to decide, you just quit. So I came all this way to tell you that I was sorry. I'm sorry I didn't save you, and I'm sorry and I tried, but also, you, Crawford. Because you don't get to decide that anymore. You don't get to just quit. And you're coming with us whether you like it or not, because we hauled ass all the way here to come get you, and we love you, and we want to help you. And I'm gonna punch this guy otherwise.
A2 stands up or walks over to beside Fiola, facing Crawford, and says, I wasn't there the first time. I'm not letting you face whatever's next alone.
Lightdrinker looks down at Crawford and nods, and he says, your will is now your own, you know. Fiola, can you give me a persuasion check at advantage, because holy shit.
That is a nat 20.
All right. What's your charisma modifier or your persuasion modifier?
Persuasion +1.
Crawford, he doesn't sigh. His shoulders kind of sag for a moment because he's not breathing. And he says, if it'll make you feel better, I'll take you back wherever you want to go. But I don't think I can stay up there anymore. That place isn't for me now. And you might love me now, but you won't for long. That's just how it is now. Is that going to be enough for you?
I'll put my hand on his shoulder and I'm gonna say,
Well, he's on the other side of these bars.
I'll go say the other side of the bars. I'm gonna just look at him and say, I love you always. I don't care what you become. You're always just gonna be Crawford to me. I've stared into some dark stuff, man. And one thing I've learned is that when people love you, things are better. And you don't have to be there with them. You just have to know that we love you. And we're always gonna love you, no matter what you become or turn into. That doesn't change.
For a moment, his body disappears, and you see like a Crawford-shaped cloud of blood, which bamps forward through the bars, and then reforms into the body of Crawford that you knew. And you can see that even more than before, Crawford was never exactly a person with a healthy color of his flesh. He was pallid and pale. Now he is almost ghostly white. You can see that he is not breathing. You don't see in his neck. I have to move my beard because you can't see. You can't see any veins pulsing in his neck. He's just there, but he is clearly now fully undead. It doesn't take any additional check on the part of a druid to determine that. And in fact, A2B, I believe you definitely recognize him now. And he says, well, for a little while, I guess that will have to do, at least for now. He turns back to Lightdrinker and puts his hand up on the bars. And Lightdrinker does the same, puts his hand on the other bars. And Crawford says, I'll be back at some point. I don't know when, but we'll be back together again soon. And he turns to you and he says, all right, let's go, family.
I'm gonna look at him and say, you look like utter shit. Let's go.
And that's the end of it for tonight.
Woo!
Wow.
Holy
That took a
crap.
turn.
Wow.
Oh!
That 24 AC which was why I was like, I should have been fighting that vampire. I'm like,
It was only double what Crawford's AC was.
Oh my god.
Was almost suicidal. Yeah.
You would think.
So, thanks to the four of you for doing this again with me tonight to wrap up our loose story threads. Thanks to Dan Gaston for allowing us to use the channel again, and also for he was part of one of the previous sessions. As I noted tonight, he had it's Easter weekend, so people got family and things. So that was fantastic. Although I think he's been watching at least part of it. So thank you, Dan, for all that you do here at Variant Roles. Let's wrap up real quickly. We're gonna do a quick go around, remind people who you are, where they can find you, anything else that I think some of you may want to mention. And we are going to start this time. Going to go back counterclockwise with Matt.
Hey, that's me. I am Matthew Foreman. I am at Matthew Foreman on Twitter. Matthew W. Foreman, I always forget that. Matthew W. Foreman on Twitter. I make D&D content on Dice Priori, and I am here a lot as well. In fact, I'm going to be on the next show in about 20 minutes in Invisible Suns, right after this one. So, hi.
And you were on the show right before this one, weren't you?
Yeah, I live here now. Hi. And Kyle, thank you so much. That was absolutely terrific, and you're all wonderful, and I love you all very much.
This was fun. Can I ask, I suspect that I know, but I'm going to ask anyway, like I always like to do. Matt, what was your favorite moment tonight?
Oh, It had to, I mean, come on. It had to be Val's speech. Are
I
you
know,
kidding
right?
me?
Right? Yeah.
If anybody says anything different, I cut you.
You're just being, you're just being
Okay,
contrarian.
so after that, like, okay, that one's like so obvious because, man, that was coming
That's
from
like its own
a very
tier.
real
Like,
place for her. I think. I don't know anything about her, but wow, yes. What was your second favorite moment?
All right, the flower crowns. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to Val. Val, if you wanted people to find you on the internet, where would you tell them to look?
It's the Nerdy Niffler on, I was going to say YouTube. It's not YouTube, it's Twitter. I just post D&D stuff and just that kind of sarcasm-related content.
Sarcasm-related
Content.
This is why she's my goth niece. She's not really.
My goth dad.
What did you call me the other day? Your Cthulhu uncle?
Cthulhu uncle. Yeah.
My daughter was like, "Oh, that's perfect."
Yeah, I was like, Cthulhu uncle. My heart just, my whole thing is just to be praising other people. Padavos, Punbard, if you want pure sunshine in your day, just follow him. Matt is an amazing DM and player who is on Dice Priory, and I love Dice Priory. Emma is just such a beautiful human being, and you just follow her. She's just great. And Kyle, I was just thinking, well, you were doing descriptions of the attacks and the places. I was like, this is so good. Follow Kyle, he's great.
Thank you. What was your favorite moment for tonight?
My favorite
Other
moment,
than the climax.
other than finding Crawford alive, my favorite moment was every time that Perkins got him with the song and was like, every time that Theola failed, which was all of her times, the dog Perkins was like, I got you. I was gonna, like, before we went in, I was gonna be like, I go to Perkins and say, we should really hang out after this. Your whole aesthetic is amazing.
It is, though. It is.
It's perfection.
All right. Back up around to Adam. If people want to find you on the internet, who and what, or where and what, I should say, can they find?
I am known as the hashtag Punbard on Twitter. You can find me at Peter Voss. I am starting my foray into D&D content creation. I have a subclass for the College of Puns out if you want to play Pun Bard in your D&D game. Like everybody was saying, thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Emma, Matt, Val. This was a treat to be able to come in and finish and make up for lost time.
Last time. Yeah, and to be clear, the reason that Dan was in the second episode that we did was because Adam had also much more important things. I don't know how much you want to say about it. That's up to you.
I had a baby. Well, not I had a baby. My wife had a baby, but
yes, So, birth of a child, D&D, both are great. One of them you can do every week. The other one, God, please don't do it every week.
And it was the best. I mean, you all are awesome, but like,
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
I got my own kids. I understand. Everybody that's got family, they understand. Finally, Emma, where should people find you on the internet? Anything you want to tell us about?
Yeah, you can find me at MK Hansen on Twitter. I talk about a lot of stuff, and sometimes I'm on here. And on Tuesdays I'm on Dice Priory in the evenings, playing a Yep. Anyway,
I love how it's kind of like a shared. It's not really one community, but it's kind of feels like sister communities that have a lot of, like, the Venn diagram of Dice Priority and variant roles. There's a lot of overlap between those two communities, and it's great.
We love it.
So, what was your favorite moment tonight besides the obvious?
Besides Val being absolutely amazing as always, the moment that A2 woke back up was both beautiful and crushing at the same time. Like that kicked me right in the heart, and it was lovely. So thank you for that.
So again, I'm Kyle Maxwell, at TechnoScald on Twitter and a lot of other social media. If you find at TechnoScald, it's almost certainly me. I also write a blog on RPG related content, D&D, Dungeon World, a few other things at technoscald.me. And you can also find me here. I run on variant roles, not quite close to once a week on average, a couple of times a month on average. So in two Saturdays from now, I'll be running in the early afternoon another level of Dungeon of the Mad Mage. So look for the signups for that soon. And my second favorite, as I've been asking, moment was when Perkins cast that fireball up at the spire at the silhouette, and I was like, I was not prepared for that at all. I have all these notes about the necropolis and this and that, and he's like, I throw it way up there. I'm like, what? I don't. Which is the best. Like as a DM, all of you run games sometimes. I think that is the moment that's the best. Like, okay, how do I handle this? And it's fantastic. So I'm glad that you are all my friends. I'm glad to hear you playing here this with you all. It's been fantastic. And now we're going to get out of the way and let the Invisible Sun crew get together and do their thing. Sorry for running over, Dan. Thank you for being patient with us. And it's going to be fantastic. And I will try to at least be in chat for most of it. But I got to go eat dinner with my kids too. So thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.